I was witness to mass graves in Syria from 2011 to 2018, where men and women, children and elderly, were tortured, executed, gassed, and bombed by the Assad regime, Iran, and Russia, and callously thrown into trenches, their fate unknown to loved ones. Their lives have been lost. They cannot be saved, and they demand accountability. But the reason I am sharing my story today is to tell you that they are digging mass graves right now to bury more victims of Assad, Iran, and Russia. I'm a civilian. Before the war, I was an administrative employee of the Damascus municipality. My job was to help families make final preparations for their loved ones' passing. Each funeral was dignified with religious prayers and rituals, and all were properly laid to rest. Family members were given an opportunity to say goodbye, and the sanctity of every grave was respected. In 2011, my office was visited by regime intelligence officials, and I was ordered to work for them. And when the regime asks for something, you don't say no. I was not prepared for the horror of my duties. Every week, twice a week, 3 trailer trucks arrived, packed with 300 to 600 bodies of victims of torture, bombardment, and slaughter. Twice a week, 3 to 4 pickup trucks with 30 to 40 bodies of civilians that had been executed in Saydnaya prison also arrived for disposal in the most inhumane way. The countless bodies I buried, it keeps me up at night, and I will never sleep soundly carrying this burden. No one should, because these massacres are still happening. There are, according to conservative estimates, at least 150,000 missing and unaccounted for Syrians. Their families have no closure, holding out hope for any bit of information. My heart is heavy with the knowledge that many are at this very moment experiencing inhumane torture at the hands of the Assad regime. And some, I know exactly where they are piled up into mass graves that are still being dug today. I know this because others who worked with me on the mass graves have very recently escaped and confirmed what we have been hearing. When the international community fails to condemn crimes against humanity, genocidal massacres, the bombardment of hospitals and schools, enforced disappearances and detention, criminal regimes will continue to push the limits unhindered. Russia, by its own admission, tested over 200 weapons on civilians in Syria. The international community looked the other way, and now Russia is using those same weapons and tactics in Ukraine that it honed in its 7 years waging war against the Syrian people. Where is the line? Chemical weapons against innocent civilians was not the line in Syria. The playbook of these tyrants is written, and I fear the worst for the Ukrainian people. Enabling Assad enables Putin, and stopping Assad hurts the Russian dictator. We must finally learn from the past and not let this never again moment happen yet again.